This video is for those of you that are about to go into Thanksgiving break, or if you're finding this and you're about to go into any extended break or period of time off in your school, because it's during these times that we see a lot more behavioral issues in the classroom, less engagement from students, and classroom management can just be a little bit tougher during this time. Today I want to talk about two things. One, why is this happening? And two, what can you do about it in your classroom so that you can go into break feeling great instead of feeling like you're gonna just pass out on your doorstep. Let's go. So I want to jump right into this, and I think this is a video that you might even be able to share with your team or your PLC or just a new teacher that you think might be able to help this out, because what we want to do is ultimately our goal as educators is to help students live great lives, to live the lives that they dream of. And the only way we're going to help them be able to do that is to help them to be able to grow in the classroom and beyond. And so today I want to talk about two ways you can do that, even when we're coming up to a break where a lot of teachers kind of typically just take time off and chill. And we're going to get into that in a moment. But the first kind of idea here is that, look, I'm not a child psychologist. My training in this is completely real world, being in a classroom for almost 20 years and seeing these behaviors come up again and again and again, and coming up with some of these ideas. So the two main reasons I see as for like, why is this happening, right, are very practical. One, it's either students are incredibly excited for what's to come. Some students are getting ready to take a vacation during that break. They're going to see family that they don't see all the time. This is a party kind of time, and they're stoked about that. There's more free time, right? You're going to see your friends more. And I know growing up at our house, my mom would invite anybody over for Christmas Eve, right? So at our house on Christmas Eve, anyone was invited. So I had like Muslim friends coming over and Jewish friends coming over, and anybody could come over. It's this great party, and it was something you got excited about every year. And I'm sure if I saw younger me, there were behaviors in the classroom that didn't mean to be rude, didn't mean to be bad, didn't mean to be wrong, but it's just that overwhelming excitement that you cannot always contain when you're a child. And so the other thing is, the other place I've seen students really come from in this is kids that are not moving into a break that is filled with any of this good stuff. They are potentially maybe you have students that are in foster care that aren't really sure what this year is going to look like. Are we going to celebrate anything this year? Maybe they recently lost a parent. And for those of you that have ever lost anyone, you know that the holiday season, right, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or Hanukkah or a time that is focused on family, when you lose someone, that takes years to move out of that. And so for years, my mom passed away on December 18th, 1998. And for, I'd say, at least 10 years after that, Christmas was just harder. It was just a time when not until I really had kids was it like exciting again, because my mom passed so close to Christmas, and Christmas was actually her birthday. So it's like I carried that showed up every year at that time. The other thing is maybe kids are have lost a grandparent, or they're living with grandparents or another caregiver that they're just not sure how this is going to play out. Some kids don't have the money. Their parents don't have the money to pull off something that is great. Maybe they don't know if they're having a dinner on Thanksgiving. It is realizing that not everyone comes from the same place, and that some students don't know what to do with that hurt, with that frustration, with that anxiety. And so they act out. So the question becomes, what can we do? I'm going to say this on the front end. For just the teachers that are kind of thinking this, you cannot solve every problem. And you can run all the meal drives, all the toy drives, you can try and plug kids into activities and create access to spaces and places that are going to fill some of those needs. And I think that's wonderful. But to me, it really comes down to also, what am I doing in my classroom? What am I doing in my school building to really foster a sense of love, of care, and it's going to help students get through this time in school without like getting in trouble or hurting themselves or someone else. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from for this. So one, I think you gotta, so let me do this. So what to do? One, hold it down. Students won't ever tell you this, but they love rules, policies, procedures, as long as they're consistent. I have seen students with teachers that are so rigorous, so difficult, so no nonsense, but if they are the same all the time, there is a peace that comes with that. Especially if you have students that are coming from homes that have a lack of consistency, those students will thrive on the consistency in your classroom. So keeping it going, holding it down is incredibly important. So it's the daily rhythms that you have. A lot of teachers will say like, well, Thanksgiving's on a Thursday, or Christmas break or winter break starts on a Wednesday this year. We're just gonna watch a movie. We're just gonna play games and have a party. I think there's space for that, but it's being mindful that some of those daily rhythms are things that help kids settle into your class. So maybe keeping that bell ringer going or that pre-class going. Maybe keeping that first activity open, like going. Maybe continuing eating lunch with your students instead of just going to the staff holiday party. It's what are some of those consistent rhythms in your classroom that you can keep going that are going to help you to hold it down and help kids to hold it together. The second thing is stop what you're doing and listen to your students, right? So it is, I've said this many, many times. There are, and I actually do a whole talk about this when I do professional development, but there are going to be things that students want to talk to you about because you are their person, because they see you all the time. And when you build that familiarity, students will start telling you all kinds of stuff. So in those moments, that can be terrifying for teachers because you don't understand, you're not sure what to say back to a kid or what to do when they tell you, I've had kids, everything from, I'm not sure if my dad's going to get out of jail or my mom's going to get out of jail this on time, to I'm going to go with my grandparents and they don't really have money and I don't know if I'm going to get anything, to I think I'm all by myself on Thanksgiving this year because both my mom and my grandmom have to work and my dad's not around. It's all this stuff. You do not have to have answers for any of this. Here's the point. Your attention is more important than your advice. I'm going to say it again. Your attention is more important than your advice. Sitting with someone, the greatest gift we can give someone, the greatest present we can give is our presence sometimes. So it's sitting with folks in their hurt. It's sitting in the mud, in the uncomfortability, in the vulnerability with someone and letting them know that even though I don't have an answer, I'm here for you. Going through something alone is, many of you know this, it is the worst. It's having a feeling that it's feeling like no one else understands you, that no one else cares about you, that you're going through this alone and this is the worst. Just having someone to sit with you, to care for you, to listen to you, and at best, sometimes the best thing I have to say is, I'm so sorry you're going through this and that you feel this way, but please know that I am here for you and I am so honored that you would share this with me. It's just an acknowledgement, right? It's not the advice, it's just the acknowledgement. So stopping what you're doing and giving kids your ear is sometimes the best thing that you can do. And then the last thing, this might seem like a no duh, but I think the number 3, and this kind of goes with number 1, is teach. So, Reynolds, this is so dumb. Of course I'm going to teach. Like, we teach. This is what we do. We're teachers. But, like I said before, some teachers we go full movie mode. We go full party mode. And so what happens is, if we want to keep things regulated, we gotta stay regular in our classrooms. So it is, I think it is, for me, has always been about a balance. I also find that most students can't watch a whole movie. They can't just sit still. You're with all your buddies, you're telling jokes, you're making comments, you're laughing, you start talking too much. And so it is doing things like maybe peppering that in. Maybe we have half a lesson and then we're going to do something fun if we can get through this, right? That's the incentive piece at the end. Maybe it's we're going to do minute to win it games. Maybe we're going to play a review game. Maybe we're going to have like a cereal party or something like that, or we're going to do a door decoration competition. Whatever it is, you are creating time and space to have the special moment, to create the memories, to create the fun for kids. It's intermixing that with some of the stuff that's regular. Now, look, some of you have scripted curriculums and you're not even allowed to do anything fun. That's a whole another thing, but I still think you can, and I have tons of videos on like how you sprinkle magic on those moments anyway. But it is, it is something that we need to be cognizant of to really help students go into the break as best as possible. And then letting kids know, especially for those kids that are struggling, letting them know that I'm so excited for you to come back. I'm so excited to see you on the other side of this, so that they know. What we want students to know too is that you're not alone, and that on the other side of this, we will still be here. We will still show up every single day. We'll still be in this classroom, and we'll be here for you when you need us. There's a teacher out there that needs this video. So please consider sharing this with someone that might need it, and hit the like button. It just helps us out here. If you're not subscribed, do that as well. And that's it, gang. We'll see you next time. Peace.